welcome to Friday Faves, Finds, and Fails, or whatever we're calling it. I decided that we needed a change of scenery today. It is kind of gnarly, rainy outside, and that makes kind of for the best natural light. I'm always creating my own light. I've moved everything out of the way just enough that it looks like I'm an organized human being today, but that is absolutely not the case. Literally, everything you cannot see right now is pure chaos. Just imagine like Jumanji off camera, like that's what it looks like. So today we are going to be talking about, like I said, some faves, some fails, and some finds, and I've got some really good ones for you this week, so let's go ahead and jump in. First fave, you guys have been asking me about this nonstop. Okay, so I made that video about the Rose Glow vibrator that you put on your face, and it, you know, jury's out as to whether that actually does anything. I really don't think that it does, but I mentioned like casually that I have hydration issues and that like whenever I drink water all day long, it makes me pee all day long and it drives me crazy because then I'm all puffy and I'm dehydrated no matter what. I'm just like always drinking water and it's not really doing anything. And then I had found kind of a natural supplement to help with that. And you guys are like, what is it? Can I just say, guys, I don't get that many comments on my videos. If you have a really strong feeling when you're watching one of my videos and it's something that's come out more than like that week ago, read the rest of the comments because probably someone else has already asked the same question and I've already answered it. And in the case of this stuff, I had already provided a link for it and I will link it again below. Actually, my doctor prescribed me something that was like something for like, what is it called? Overactive bladder or whatever, which is super embarrassing, but you know, age 30, whatever, OAB, fine. And it had all these side effects and it made me have dry mouth and it just was like generally like not ideal. And then I left all of my medicine in Texas when I went up to my fiance's house up in New Jersey for Christmas. And I was like, what am I gonna do? I need that drug or else I'm literally like, all I can think about all the time is how much I have to pee. So we went to the store and I looked for just a like over-the-counter natural regimen and I used this. This is the Azo Bladder Control Dietary Supplement. And actually on the box it says, now with Go Less. Like, that's what I want. I want to go less. So Go Less proprietary blend pumpkin seed extract. So apparently, and I will preface this by saying what I always say, I am not a scientist, but pumpkin seed extract apparently helps you kind of control those muscles better that make you have the urge to pee or that help you actually empty your bladder out completely. And that was my issue, is it was like I would go to the bathroom and even if I peed, I felt like I wasn't done peeing, but my body was done peeing and it was like I couldn't pee more, even though I felt like there was more to pee. And so I started taking this and it's like, it makes all of the difference in the world, that incremental last little bit of pee in your bladder, like getting it out of there, and this stuff is amazing. Plus, you're supposed to take it 3 times a day when you first start, so that I guess you kind of like build up those muscles or whatever, but then you start taking it like in the morning and at night. I just take it in the morning and at night, and it makes you go fewer times during the day or during the night, and it doesn't really like wake me up having to go to the bathroom anymore. So this is the product that I've been talking about so much, and I now have it on prime like scheduled delivery so that I never run out of it. So it really, really works, and I'm really glad that I don't have to take like a nasty prescription for it anymore. I can rely on pumpkin seed extract. All right, my next favorite, and if you guys can't tell, I don't know if you can, but okay, so my hair has been through some gnarly stuff. And if you guys don't like the conversational aspect of these videos, I'm really sorry. Like, these are going to be chatty videos. I want you guys to feel like you're like actually getting an authentic experience from me, and I'm not just like, buy this product. Like, that's not what I want. So I'm always going to be sincere, and that might take more words. So here we go. I enrolled with Influencer a really long time ago, and for whatever reason, I don't understand. They just started emailing me again out of freaking nowhere in the beginning of the year. And then I got kind of like tapped or whatever for like, hey, come take this survey about your hair. And I was like, okay. A while back, maybe, it was kind of during my dark period last year, I decided one morning I was gonna wear my hair extensions and I clipped them in, and they were some new ones because I ran my old ones through the wash in Amsterdam. That happened, and they just made like a rat's nest, and it was just really sad. And I was really bummed because I had cut those so perfectly. Like, they were so perfect, and then I was kind of trying to deal with not ideal kind of weft widths and things. And so anyway, I put them in and I was like, oh crap, these look terrible and they're way too blunt. And so I just kind of started hacking away with thinning shears to get them to look right, and not realizing that I was cutting my own hair as well. And so if you can't tell, like, there's a video where everybody commented, oh my god, your hair looks so amazing right now. It was literally right after that. So my hair, I just took all the amazing out with those thinning shears, and now even though I've had it cut since then, my lovely, lovely friend, bridesmaid, and hairstylist, Clover, she did a really good job of like evening it out and reassuring me and telling me, hey, you didn't do that bad of a job, blah, blah, blah. I still like low lighted and then re-highlighted my hair last year. This is still thinner than it should be at the bottom. And I've just been feeling really not that confident about my hair lately. So, back to what we were talking about with Influencer, they emailed me this survey or whatever, and they were like, hey, you qualify to try this product for free, so we're gonna send it to you. And I was like, okay, well, I wish that you'd had a question in your survey as to whether I am a hair product snob, because I am, again, licensed cosmetologist since 2005, so I just don't necessarily shop for hair products at the grocery store. It's just not really a thing that I do unless I'm really in a pinch. So I got this and I was thinking, if this is a conditioner and it's got a bunch of parabens in it, or it's got a bunch of silicones in it, or it's got like beeswax in it or something like that, I'm just gonna have to probably ruin my reputation with Influencer right off the bat, because I'm not going to use that product. Not gonna put that on my hair. It's gonna be like Pantene Pro V. It's just I'm gonna put it on my hair and it's gonna feel really gummy and nasty and whatever. So cut to this actually arriving. It's a leave-in! Yay! So it's not something that I have to actually like use in the shower. It doesn't really have any of those nasty sort of like miracle ingredients in it that make your hair feel really slick when you first use them. This is just a protein repair leave-in, and it is the L'Oreal Paris Elvive Total Repair 5 Protein Recharge Almond and Protein Leave-In Conditioner for Damaged Hair. The first thing that I noticed when I put it in my hair is it smells awesome. It smells sweet but almondy, and I really like it. It also has this familiarity to it. Like maybe I used one of their products like in the distant past, and this just reminds me of like a really positive connotation. It also kind of smells like cocoa butter. Like if you like that smell, that's kind of what it reminds me of. And it actually really works. The main thing that I've noticed, the first time I used it, I didn't really notice anything, which is great. That's actually kind of what you want if you're using a protein treatment or any kind of leave-in that's claiming to repair your hair. If you notice something the first time that you use it, that's bad. That means that it's probably gonna build up on your hair and that it's like probably too intense for what you're using. Like unless it's an oil that you use when it's dry and it feels really slick and then it rinses clean, like that's fine. But if it's a leave-in and you really notice like gummy hair afterwards, it's only gonna get worse from there. So I was kind of pleased that I didn't notice much the first time that I used it, but over the course of a couple of weeks of using it, the main thing that I noticed is when I let my hair dry naturally, it's calm. I don't look like a mad scientist anymore, because my hair used to just be so dry, especially in this freaking weather, that I would let it dry naturally, and like when I looked in the mirror, I looked like a mad scientist. Like all my little sad like frizzy ends were just like radiating from my head, and I really don't have a lot of hair. So anything that can kind of like fortify the few little hairs that I do have on my head and make them just kind of like hang like normal hair and be shiny is a miracle. And I don't know how much this sells for because I got it for free, like I said, but like it's a drugstore product. It can't be that much. So you get 5.1 fluid ounces, which is a lot. It smells fantastic. I use the tiniest little dollop because I have the tiniest little dollop of hair. And I don't know, I'll put a link to this down below and probably like with the price and everything, because I think that this is actually really fantastic and it's just as good as any of, ow, I just hit myself in the face with that. It's gonna leave a red mark. That'll be fun for the rest of the video. It's just as good as any of the like salon leave-ins that I've used. It's actually better, I think, than the It's a 10 for me. Doesn't mean that it's necessarily like has all the same properties, but it doesn't break my neck out. It's a 10 breaks my neck out really bad, so the fact that this doesn't break my neck out is awesome. Okay, so I promise I am not sponsored by Roxbox. I've just been getting Roxbox again because I just kind of like got, you know, some discount code in the beginning of the year and decided to go for it. Plus, I've said this before, my jewelry game is not good. Like I just don't shop for jewelry ever. And when I see people wearing really pretty jewelry, I'm just like, I should shop for jewelry, and then I just don't. And so it's kind of funny how like you have all these like fashion instincts, or at least I do, but they don't translate everywhere. Like it's really hard for me to like make inspiration come for like interior design. I have to like wait for it. Like yesterday I just had this like burst of energy where I like looked at my kitchen and I was like, the kitchen island needs to be blue, and I just like painted the kitchen island blue. Anyway, I got these in my most recent Roxbox. My earring game has come a long way since getting Roxbox again. These are a little bit heavy. I'm honestly, and let me know what you guys think about this, before my wedding I'm kind of considering getting my stretched earlobes sewn back up. It's like $800, it's kind of a lot, but I'm wondering if I can go to my dermatologist and maybe they'll cut me a little bit of a deal or something. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about sewing them up so that I can wear regular earrings again. I was watching Nikki Tutorials do Nicole Richie's makeup yesterday, and Nicole Richie, just her earring game is like bar none the best, and she's wearing these outrageous earrings, and I was like, those, so if I wear something too heavy, it will kind of like droop the lobe too much, and my plugs will fall out, and that's not good. So these are borderline too heavy, but this is like, I'm not sure what the brand is, I think it might be like Aster, and no, these are...
Get out.
What?
Get out, I need to go to my mind palace.
Ava Rose. I think these are Ava Rose. Either way, put a link to them below. These have this really cool like insert of like turquoise tiles, and I don't think they're real turquoise because they have like a ripple of gold all the way through them, which is even better. It's like improving on nature. But they're gorgeous and I love them. They're very like spring for me, and they're very, I don't know, it's just right in terms of like Art Deco meets boho, because I can't go full boho. I don't really feel like I look good in like the whole boho thing, but these are just boho enough for me with their little, you know, natural stones and everything. So I love these. I probably will be purchasing these. If you don't know, Rocksbox sends you stuff and you can just like wear it for, you know, however long, and then you send it back, but you also get like your membership fee every month of like $21 applied to whatever you want to buy at a discount. It might be worth it to some people, it might not be worth it to other people, but I made a conscious decision that I want to start investing in like some better jewelry for myself. So that's where these guys came from. And you know, some of the prices are better than others, but these are amazing and I love them. All right, I'm gonna make this part quick, but I just ordered 3 more of these because this is still absolutely like the greatest thing in the world. This is the Mother Dirt AO Plus Face Mist, and well, I guess it's just mist for face and body, but I use it on my face to clear my acne, and it is out of this world incredible. And I actually just got a comment this morning on that video where someone had already tried it, and they were like, oh my god, it cleared my acne immediately. And I was like, yes, I'm serious, you guys. Like, if you're having trouble with just kind of what you feel like is like either hormonal or bacterial acne on your face that you just like, it's just pesky and won't go away, just start using this like twice a day, like before you go to bed and after you put your makeup on. I just can't say enough about it. It's incredible. And I ordered 3 at a time this time to kind of cut down on the sort of environmentally not that conscious packaging, but it's because these have to stay refrigerated, and so I get it. So I went ahead and just like made sure that they only had to refrigerate 1 package for 3 of them, and then it's easier on my conscience. So I have one fail, or you know, unfavorite as it were, as this is Friday Faves, Fails, and Finds. We're just calling it like hashtag and then 4 Fs, okay? That's what it's gonna be from now on. Okay, so I was talking about, I guess last week, about Biosense, and I was talking about how on social media I keep getting these ads where they're like, hey, this is normally like $80, but we'll give it to you for the cost of shipping because we know you're gonna like it so much, you're gonna get hooked on it, so just like we'll give you your first bottle essentially for free. So that was the case with this. This is the MF People Hyaluronic Vitamin C Serum, and you guys know vitamin C is tight. It's at the top of my list. I love it because it's brightening. Hyaluronic acid, you know what? Kakkie's jury is out on hyaluronic acid. I have used several hyaluronic acid products. I use the Derma E hyaluronic acid cream. That stuff's amazing, especially for like younger skin if you just really want that nice like plumping effect. I don't know, I don't use it anymore, but when I was younger I was obsessed with it. And then there's the like Paula's Choice hyaluronic acid that I feel like I put it on my face and it just like tightens everything and feels kind of like gross and dry, and I don't really understand. Like, it's supposed to pull moisture out of the air and like hydrate the cells of your skin, and I'm just not seeing that effect from it, and that was similar to this. So I put this on my skin hoping that at least I would see some of the effects that I might see from like the Sunday Riley or something like that. I feel like that's kind of my measuring stick at this point, is the Sunday Riley CEO vitamin C brightening serum or whatever, the Rapid Flash, is kind of my measuring stick at this point. It's like, hey, I'd love to find something that doesn't cost that much, but at the end of the day, like, I'm willing to pay for it because it's genius. It's incredible. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I'll bite. This is, you know, a giant container, like a regular, you know, big container of this. I don't think it came all the way full. I'm not sure. That would make sense. But yeah, so it's just got this normal, regular old, what you would think of as a hyaluronic acid serum, and it just doesn't do anything. It does a very similar thing to my skin that the Paula's Choice does, where it just kind of makes everything feel, it's like it dries on top of my skin instead of sinking in, and it just kind of like makes everything feel tight, and then I feel like I need to go put moisturizer or another serum on or something like that in order to get it to work, or to like my skin to feel comfortable. So what's really the point? I don't really see a difference when I use it, and it's not really, I'll put the actual price of it on the screen, but it's not cheap. MF people, I think it stands for like male, female, but like MF, like that just makes me think of something else. So I just think it's a weird brand name to begin with. Plus, I don't know, they need to pick a lane. Like I went on their website and they sell like everything from like skincare to clothing, and I'm just like, and it's all the same brand. I'm just like, are you trying to like take over my entire life? I don't know. Just pick a lane. Okay, this is an updated find, okay? Remember how last week I was talking about how this Red Earth Secret Potion Illuminating Skin Fluid was for people who were younger than me because I couldn't understand how to use it, and I'd done my makeup 8 times in 1 weekend trying to figure it out? Well, I got it to work. I was hell-bent, you guys. I was like, there's no way that this product is that amazing and I can't figure out how to make it work. So I have it on my face right now. The way that I got it to work is, first, I mixed it with a tinted moisturizer. I used the Laura Mercier tinted, oil-free tinted moisturizer, the SPF one that I like to wear in the summer. And I mixed it with this, and they have a very similar kind of bouncy, dewy texture. If you try and mix this with like a cream, it's not really going to communicate as well. You have to mix it with something that's got slightly more of a bounce to it, a little bit more of a serum consistency. I'm actually excited to try this with the Ordinary Serum foundation when it finally comes in the mail. I know they're on like wacko delay right now because I actually had to order off of the Ordinary's website in order to get the colors that I wanted because everybody's out of them because apparently they're like either that amazing or just that inexpensive. Either way, I want to try it with this, but this is like a, if you weren't here last week, it's a skin illuminator, and it's really beautiful, and it has this beautiful diffused texture to it where it kind of like reflects light on your face and makes everything just kind of blurred in a really unique way, like that I've never really seen before in anything else. And so I was determined to get this to work, and when I got it to work with that, then I realized, okay, well, once I've got this really nice kind of like reflective thing going on my face, how do I keep from ruining that with a bunch of powder? So I got these new brushes from Real Techniques, and I got one that's kind of a smallish powder brush, and I've seen Jackie Ina do this too, where it's just you take the powder and you only hit where you need to hit instead of just going all over your whole face. So I just used some of my Glossier powder and I just put it like under my eyes, on my like lip or whatever, and then on my chin and my forehead, just a touch, you know what I mean, to make sure that kind of like it set where it needed to set. And then I just kind of like let it sit for a minute, and this stuff does dry down, which is really nice because the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer doesn't really dry down, and I feel like adding this to it helped it dry down so that I could then just put regular, like, my pink leopard on top of that, and it didn't grab anywhere, which was shocking. So this took a unique approach in order to get it to work, but I'm really, really glad that I did. Also, I don't recommend using the Shape Tape with this. The Shape Tape, again, it's too creamy, like it's got too much intense pigment in it, and too much, I don't know, it's just too creamy to try and use with this because it just they just clash and they fight with each other. The concealer that I ended up using today is actually the Maybelline Age Rewind. So I used just a little bit of that, and it dries down to like a powder texture on its own. You don't really have to powder it as much. And I used it actually really close to my own skin tone so that I was able to, like, I don't know, it just made everything not have to be so contrasty, and I was able to go lighter on the makeup. Even though it doesn't look like I went lighter on the makeup, I am actually wearing a lot less makeup than I normally do. So this actually, I'm like pretty excited to keep using it and possibly like have it help lighten up my makeup routine. All right, I hope that you guys have stayed this far into the video because this is the coup de grace. This is the thing that I'm so excited to talk about today. This is the Kroszner Radiance High Frequency Facial Device. What? So, you open this bad boy up, and I know, you guys are sick of me being like, you need to buy this! I've had this really great weird device at home. I'm gonna tell you one thing, and that is that I've never gone and paid for a facial. I'd rather do everything at home because I would, for whatever reason, rather just sit there and like do all this stuff to myself. I feel like more self-sufficient when I do that instead of going and spending the money. Anyway, this is the weirdest little device ever, and I'm not unfamiliar with it. So this is actually something that facialists use, like estheticians use, and it has this like glass, it actually has several. It's got all these weird little like glass attachments that go into it. This one is for kind of like broader areas of your body or your face, for wrinkles. This is a Zit Zapper attachment. And then there's sort of what they call the tongue attachment. Not for your tongue, it's just sort of tongue shaped. And I think this is for more like targeted areas for like anti-wrinkling. And then there's the comb attachment that's like for your hair, like if you want hair growth or whatever. Either way. So let me go ahead and turn this bad boy on. Let me plug it in for you. There we go. Now you can see. So it smells like static electricity. I've got it turned up really high. It doesn't always make that nasty spark noise. So like when it's really low and chill, you can just like touch it on your face. I don't want to mess my makeup up. Basically like kills the bacteria underneath your skin, but it also just sort of like stimulates everything. It gives it like this teeny tiny little shock. I'm not a scientist. This can be used for everything that your body needs a little bit of help with, like topically. So you can use it for anti-wrinkling, like I don't know if you can tell, but am I in focus? So essentially this little bad boy can be used for acne or to treat wrinkles. If you guys can't tell, like I used it a little bit on like my 11s and I feel like it's already made a difference. And I will ultimately do a full video on this, but I literally just got it yesterday. But I had to tell you guys this story of the first time that I ever used this because it is absolutely insane. I will give you a trigger warning that this involves zits, and for some people that's really disgusting, so I will put a timestamp here to where you can skip to skip this part of the story if you're kind of like grossed out by that kind of stuff. But if you're like me and you love you some zit stories and you love the idea of triumphing over like face demons, stay tuned, okay? Last night, this thing got delivered. It got delivered, I bought it on Amazon. Oh, by the way, this thing is 40 bucks. I know, it seems like it's gonna be $1 million because you're like, technology, but it's like, no, it's 40 bucks on Amazon, same day delivery. I'll put a link below. You're welcome. So, I used this guy, the little like Zit Zapper attachment, and I was showing my fiance Mike how this worked last night. It was really funny because he got so distracted by me showing him how this worked that he forgot that he had put a cup underneath the refrigerator water thing and flooded the entire kitchen. It's brilliant. So anyway, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I have been dealing with, anytime you see me either without makeup or honestly with makeup, for like the last 3 weeks, I've had this like terrifying, gigantic zit right here that for the first like 2 weeks like hurt to the touch, and then it finally started chilling out, but it just like wasn't going away. It was like purple and really just like swollen and just, it looked like a different skin texture. And prior to that, I'm literally like for like almost a year, like since last winter, I have had this really pesky like zit on the inside of my nose, pretty much corresponding. Like I remember actually, I said in a recent video, I was like, I've got a zit on either side of the same spot in my nose. Like what the hell is going on? And our bodies are so freaking weird. So anyway, I've been dealing with the zit for like last year. It would like inflamed so much on the inside of my nose that like I would wake up and it had just like scabbed. It was awful, and it like wouldn't go away, and it hurt like anytime I touched it, like this eye would water. And that's how this was too on the outside. So I got that one on the outside, and it was like I would lean over and I could like feel my heartbeat in my face. Like I was like, what in the hell is going on? Plus I've been using all these amazing skincare products lately, and I've actually been healing all of my acne, so I'm like, what is this thing, like, why won't it leave? Like, all my other acne's on board. Like, it's like, all right, bye, cool, we all get a break, and this guy's like, hell no, I'm working overtime. So, I was showing Mike how this thing worked last night, and we were about to go have, like, a game night with our friends. And so I kind of cranked it up a little bit to show him kind of like the, you know, Tesla tube action, because you can kind of, like, if it's cranked up high enough, you can kind of hold it away from your skin, and it'll sort of, like, make a little pink lightning bolt go to your skin, and it's like zzz, zzz. And I was like, well, I'm gonna zap the shit out of this thing. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, if this thing's gonna make it like come to a head, I want to do it. And so I did it. I just zapped it a few times. I didn't go, you know, to town and back. Like, it wasn't a big deal. I just was like showing him, and then that was when I noticed that the water was running and we had to turn it off and everything. It was crazy. So then we went to game night, and we played cards. We were probably there for like 4 hours, and by the time we got back last night, you guys, the thing had come to a head. In 4 hours, it had come to a head. This thing had been sitting on my nose for the better part of 3 weeks, maybe a month, and been super painful. I tried to mash it, and like there was no head. There was no head, and when I would try and mash it and try and find the head to see if like, I don't know, either way, it would make like my eye like water. It was awful. And I was like, ugh, like what am I supposed to do with this thing? Like I have to go see a dermatologist for it? And so when I came home and it had come to a head, I have to prepare myself to tell you this part of the story. It's fucking weird. I was standing there in the mirror, and I was by myself, and I leaned in, and I was like, oh yes, it came to a head, oh my god. And I mash it, nothing really came out, but just the top popped off of it, and I was like, weird, interesting. And I squeezed it just a little bit more, thinking, this thing has been evil for a long time. I'm sure that there is a buttload of garbage in here. And so I was just like ready for that like triumphant feeling. But then a hair came out. Like, not a hair, like a vellus little hair, or like anything that would grow here. No, no. It was the blunt end, like the follicle end of a nostril hair. This hair had been impacted for so long on the inside of my nostril by this like ingrown hair that like wouldn't die and like wouldn't come out on the inside of my nose that it had just gone with plan B and pushed itself through the other side. So I'm like standing there in the mirror and I go, Mike, because I needed a witness. I was like, whoa, there is, because it looked like a hair clipping. If you're a hairstylist or if you've ever heard a hairstylist talk about this, so often we will get like hair clippings stuck in our skin, and it'll actually, like, sometimes it'll go all the way in and you'll get like a zit and you have to like pull it out. It's gross. So I thought it looked like one of Mike's whiskers because it was blunt on the side that was sticking out of my nose. And so I called him in and I was like, what in the hell is that? And we got the tweezers out and I pulled it out and the other side looked like an eyelash. So it was actually the follicle end that had pushed its way through the other side of my nose because it couldn't get out this way. So it was like my body had solved for it. Unfreaking believable. Like, I didn't really know what to do with the hair once I pulled it out. I was like, boy, this guy's been on a journey. Like, I almost feel like I need to give him a little trophy or name him or keep him somewhere, but I didn't. I just threw it out. That's disgusting. But anyway, I mean, for those of us out there who like to triumph over a zit, there is really nothing more gratifying than pulling a giant brown hair out of a zit that's been there for like a year, okay? Like, mind blown. Every time I woke up last night, because of course I had like a sip of vodka last night, which meant that I was going to have disrupted sleep for the rest of the night because I'm 30, you know, I deserve this apparently. So every time I woke up and I would be kind of panicky because I'd be like, oh, why am I awake? Ugh. And then I'd be like, oh man, I got that freaking hair out of my nose. It's the greatest feeling in the world, and I just go back to sleep thinking about that. I'm just like, that is one thing that I don't have to worry about anymore. And I woke up this morning and yes, it's still irritated, it's still kind of purple, but it's flat. It's not like this bulb on my nose anymore, and it's healing, and like my nostril isn't drooping anymore. My nostril was like drooping for like weeks because it was just like carrying whatever the heck was going on there. And I have this weird little device to thank for it. Like, I have this guy to thank for bringing this gnarly body situation, medical mystery, to a head, and I get like a thrill of craziness every time I think of it. And I Googled it this morning. I was like, is that really what happened? Is that really a thing? Like, can your hair push itself through the other side of your nose because it's just so irritated? Yeah, it's not common, but it's happened to other people, and it's very clear that that's exactly what it was, because when it came out backwards, and the end that was poking into my nose was the eyelash end, so like the, you know, nostril hair end. It had like a terminus point on it where it had like grown out. It wasn't like a hair clipping or something like that, and it wasn't like, I don't grow hair on the outside of my nose. If it was the other way around, that'd be one thing. It'd just be an ingrown hair that would just be bizarro, but no, this was pointing directly outward with the follicle end to the sky, and just mind-blowing. So I will, like I said, give a full review of this thing once I use it more, like, you know, to whether it actually helps with wrinkles or with like firming of my skin or all the other things that it promises. But this little Zit Zapper, y'all, that's money well spent. That's $40 all day long, because I don't know what, I mean, I was gonna have to go and get my nose cut open or something like that. Like, the fact that this did that in a matter of hours was just absolutely mind-blowing. Shocking, shocking. So, gonna link that below. Wow, guys, it's a long video. I already know, I haven't even edited it yet. So, thank you so much for sticking it out to the end. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, this format, this Friday situation. And if you are, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. I love getting y'all's feedback, and I love that you guys love coming and hanging out with me. It's so much fun for me. So, if you guys want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, go ahead and hit the button down below and subscribe. Would love it if you did, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a delightful weekend, and I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.